The marathon comeback has to be studied. Now, this video is made by Cruiser. If you guys don't know who Cruiser is, you should. He used to make all kinds of Destiny 1 content back in the day. And then, of course, Destiny 2 content. Really big on the sniper montages.
All right, what's going on, guys? My name is Paul, but you guys can call me Cruiser, and welcome back to another marathon video. So I want to cover a few things today. We're going to go and review some of this burnt peanut gameplay, but real quick, we got to talk about this because Marathon is making the comeback of a lifetime. I don't know if you guys remember how bad the perception of Marathon was a whole year ago, but man, it completely flipped. It really did. I'm seeing people who were hate bombing the game showing love to it all of a sudden, and it's rightfully so. You know, I don't think the game was the greatest game in the world a year ago, but I thought it had potential. I think the worst thing that Bungie did, they lifted the embargo for the closed alpha, and they showed everyone a test version of the game. So now we finally get to see this full finished version of the game, and it's nicer to see. I think people can critique it a little bit more fairly. Obviously, there will still be the people that are just hating on the game and like planning on review bombing it because, you know, it's not Destiny 3 or it's not Destiny 2 DLC. But for me personally, man, I don't even want a new Destiny 2 DLC. I don't know if that's like a hot take or something, but bro, they just made Edge of Fate, man. That DLC was some trash. Let's be real. I think for me personally, if I was Bungie, I would just take a few years off of Destiny 2, you know, just add in like little updates here and there, but just work on Destiny 3. You know, I'm not even trying to like shit on anyone's like parade or anything, or like that's not the type of content I make. But for me personally, I'm speaking for me specifically, I just wouldn't care if any Destiny 2 DLC dropped personally. Man, it's crazy how much I have to say this, but it's really not like any shade towards anybody. If you still like playing Destiny 2, hey man, enjoy it. You guys are getting what's the new thing called? Shadow and Order. But yeah, I don't know.
We don't even know. We don't even know if we're getting that. I mean, I know it's delayed, but who knows? Who knows at this point? You know what I'm saying?
I'm over Destiny 2 at this point. I gave Edge of Fate a try and I just wasn't enjoying it. But for me, I feel like a Destiny 3 would like reignite the flames and like the spark I had for the game.
1000%.
I just don't believe in Destiny 2 anymore. I don't know. Are you guys feeling the same way too? For me personally, I'm excited for Marathon, and you know, seeing how bad it was received a year ago and how it's getting received now is really nice. So one of the things you guys got to stop doing is you got to stop looking at all these YouTubers, especially these Destiny YouTubers that are talking about pre-order sales, because it was number 5 when they announced the pre-order was up, and then it dropped all the way to 200th or whatever, right? That's just how it is. People haven't played the game. They don't really know what to expect. They've just seen like these little cinematics of Vidoc. You know, only the people that have really been following have pre-ordered. Now,
I actually have not even tuned in for the numbers on that. I will say this, when it comes to pre-order numbers, just like Destiny, you'll see it substantially swell toward the launch and then just explode on launch day, which at that point you're just buying the game, right? I thought it actually jumping to the top 5 for just pre-orders, pretty damn amazing. I mean, the game was still, I was just based off of just pre-order numbers. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it potentially number 1 come launch dates. But that's just how it is, guys. I mean, Final Shape was the same way. Y'all remember the articles back then, like everybody was real concerned about Final Shape because of the pre-order numbers being so low leading up to the launch. But then what happened? They dropped the Vidoc, then they started doing all their marketing pushes, and then that week leading up to the launch of Final Shape, all those numbers just swelled, and then you saw everybody jumping into the game.
But this test weekend's coming up, and they showed more gameplay with the burnt peanut playing it, and they're starting to give more glimpses into what the game is actually going to be like. You know, it's back up to 36. You guys got to stop listening and like watching all these people talk about the game, because a lot of people are just hate farming the game. It's like easy to do. It's just so easy to feed into that. So there's a few reasons why, you know, this game kind of flipped. The whole narrative around the game kind of flipped. They delayed the game, right? It was a really good idea for them to delay the game. What people saw in the closed alpha just wasn't enough for them, and I can understand it. For me, as someone who played it, I thought there was a lot of potential, but again, you know, if they would have rushed it and released the game a whole year ago, it would have been a bad idea.
Yep.
So the delay was a good thing, but there was also that art theft scandal, right? I think that was exaggerated so much, but again, you know, these content creators, they're just going to use it as a way to shit on the game, because it's so easy to just spread hate about anything on the game, right?
I do have to disagree a little bit on that one. Okay, anytime a major corporation and you have one-to-one rips from an artist, when their whole decals are on your map, that is a full-blown fuck up. There is no other way around. It's a full-blown fuck up. Now we're past that. We'll move on from that. But I really don't think that was a people blowing things out of proportion, because it was about as copy and paste as you can come. They literally had anti-real signature on artwork that was poorly erased. Yeah. We're past it though. We're past it. Again, it wasn't a good look. It was not a good look.
So that whole art theft scandal was like a thing. You know, it was a bad look. but it was super exaggerated. They resolved it. They got the graphic designer and they compensated them for their work. And then they just started adding features and they started adding a lot of improvements to the game. So like, first of all, they added solos, so you can queue in solo versus solo. They added prox chat. They did a graphic overhaul too, so the lighting looks a lot nicer.
It does.
The big thing is they got a crazy voice cast for the game. They put a lot more emphasis on like the PvE and the...
Speaking of which, I think Ben Starr is the voice actor for Durando. And again, that's supposed to be the big bad, right?
storytelling and the world of the game, rather than just it being a PvP, like just slaughter everybody type of game. So it's made it a lot more accessible to more players, because at first I think it was only the sweaty try-hard PvP players that were interested, but now it seems like they've done such a good job kind of showing off the game more in the world of Marathon, because this game is deep, man. I don't know if you guys know how far back this goes. Watch a Jake the Alright video or go check out the Marathon lore archive, because there's so much to this game. It's not even really my thing. I don't really look at lore. Like Destiny 2, I played it for 10 years. I have no idea what's going on in the game. I never looked up lore. I tried to understand it, but it's just not my thing. But Marathon, it's a little bit more, there's a lot of similarities between Marathon and like the real world, if that makes sense. But Marathon's lore is really good. To me, it's a lot more interesting than Destiny. For me, this game has just been more interesting to me, and that's why I keep saying it. You know, I love Destiny. I really enjoyed the PvP. I'm just past it already. I think I've moved on. Whereas Marathon, you know, it's a fresh start, has a really cool story, has years and years of material they can go off of. And for me, I just like the art style a lot. You know, I know a lot of people are going to say they hate it or whatever, but it actually has its own flavor. So like in a world full of, you know, photorealistic and military sim, Unreal Engine 5 looking graphics, like I could throw up like 5 different screenshots from different FPS games with the HUD off, and like you couldn't really tell too much of a difference unless you actually played them. They all look the same, man. Whereas Marathon, yeah, it does have some blocky textures, but it's a style that they pulled off really well, in my opinion. But again, I don't think it's for everybody, and that's the good thing about it. But to say that it's not good or they didn't pull off their intentions for the graphics, like, I don't know, you guys are just hating to hate. You know, it looks good for the intended visual style of the game. They did a good job. So we've seen a lot of people flip their opinions on the game. Now, the Burnt Peanut, he streamed this game. So if you guys don't know why it's such a big deal for Burnt Peanut to play, he's the biggest streamer in the world right now, and he's the biggest streamer on the direct competitor of Marathon, Arc Raiders. So, you know, this is a big deal. Someone that's the biggest player on a title that Bungie is directly competing with. For him to try this out was a big thing. So,
you know what this reminds me of, guys? This is like 1-for-1 what happened with Apex Legends. If y'all remember, Apex Legends had a huge marketing push, man, where they pulled in a lot of the big streamers from Fortnite, Ninja being one of them, right? But this reminds me, you got two games in this genre that are heavily competing against each other, and they're competing, in this case, by pulling, you know, streamers and whatnot into it. Didn't Apex Shadow drop? Apex Shadow drop, guys, but if you remember, they had a number of streamers play the game day one who were contracted. Cross, are you going to become the burnt eggplant? Brother.
As you see, it's #1 on trending for gaming for a reason too. So look, they let him play Outpost. Outpost is the new map that no one has really seen yet. And I'm just going to start pointing out some improvements they made. So obviously, the HUD looks a lot nicer. The UI, the navigation of this whole screen looks a lot nicer. Now the sponsor kit, there's like a little section. I don't know if you guys remember. In alpha, it did not look like this. Seems like there's like a more of a darker gray like type of contrast rather than that super flat light gray looking.
We actually have a video coming out in the next few days. It's gonna be like a alpha versus now. It is a night and day difference.
UI that they had, you know? And then we're seeing a lot of new guns. So this is pretty similar, but as you can see, this is the new map. So, you know, Burnt Peanut, he hasn't played Marathon before. I think this is just a good way to like show off the game to, you know, the average Joe, you know? This isn't reflective of like some sweaty end game type of gameplay, you know? This is just like the basic tutorials. Honestly, wait, he's about to get murked.
And I died.
They might have made a mistake having Burnt Peanut first time ever playing the game go onto this map, because this map is actually hard. It's supposed to be harder than Dire Marsh and Perimeter, but all right, so look at this. He lost his shield. So when he shield charges, watch this. So like he's shield charging, right? But it's a faster animation. So it does it instantly. The animation is pretty instant, but his shield takes some time to recharge. So that's one of the changes they made to using your consumables. The animation is faster, so you can have your gun up. It won't instantly fill your shield up. It charges up over time. I like this because it lets you keep moving. It lets you keep shooting just in case you're getting pushed. Because I remember in the closed alpha, a lot of the times I would get caught healing because the animation took so long. But now, you know, this gives you a chance to like quickly pop it and then have your gun out. So yeah, it charges up now instead, which I think is really good. It makes the game feel more fluid. It should be nicer in fights. Lets you stay in the action and like heal in like tough spots, you know? So this is another thing too. In the closed alpha, they had the same screen. It still had all the same info, but they kind of organized it a little bit more. So obviously it has the thief shell right here in the middle, but it actually has all your stats too on the side. Before, there were just icons at the bottom, and it would just have a number, and you would have to like hover over it to see what stat it was. But now it just has the text.
Way
and the number
cleaner,
next to it,
man.
which I think is a good upgrade.
Yep.
And then again, it just looks cleaner with that dark gray contrasting with like all the icons. It's a lot easier to look at. Even some of the icons too, they're not 8-bit anymore. They actually look like there's some 3D to them, like they're 3D models now in the icons, which should be a lot easier for you to make out what everything is. It's not like some flat image anymore. So this is the prox chat right here. They're talking to Peanut right now.
Get out of here! Scram!
Wait, oh my goodness.
No, you get out of here! You.
So this is a Rook right here that's talking to him. So that's another thing too. They added Rook, which is like basically the free kit of the game. So the Rook is a scavenger. You can only load into a game solo as Rook. What Rook does is it'll go in solo versus squads. The whole intention with Rook is so you can bounce back, like you can get loot, scavenge, and you spawn up mid-game rather than at the very start. And what this does is it makes the game feel more lively, because I remember I was complaining about this in the closed alpha because there's only 6 teams or like 4 teams that spawn up at a time. With the addition of Rook, after you kill like your first team, the map will still be active. It wasn't active in the closed alpha because after you fight your first team, it would just be bots. I thought that was a big issue. So with this addition, it makes the game feel more alive, and it's not too much.
That was something that we ran into in the alpha a bunch, which was just you either got gunfight after gunfight and it was heavy, man, or it was just nothing but bots, you know. Rooks dropping in would add a little mix. Not that you want to kill just the solo guy, but it does mix things up. I'm shooting Rooks on sides. Yeah, I think Rook is a really good solution to late spawns. The way Tarkov balances it is you have no progression or XP on scavs. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I don't know if y'all saw or not, but there was a screenshot showing that you get 20% more rep gains when playing as a solo player. Pretty significant, guys. It's actually an incentive to play solo. Oh, they said you can't complete contracts as Rook. You can still go in as solo, still get the 20% rep gains, but you can't do it with Rook.
No, whereas in like arc raiders, right, you could fight somebody, kill a team, and then instantly get third party. You can kill them and people will just keep spawning up instantly. So like you can go into some arc raider matches with like 30 kills as a team. So this is like a little bit more controlled. You have more breathing room to actually fight, but it's not too much, and it should be a little bit easier for you to do whatever objective you're trying to do, and at the same time still have some PvP fights.
Do we trust him, Mr. Secret?
I trust him. He's gonna help us.
All right, we will trust you for now.
So here they're showing off the prox chat, which, you know, I think this is a good idea for them to have Peanut do this, because you know, he's had so many viral clips with arc raiders with the prox chat. So kind of showing off this feature on Marathon with him, like, kind of makes sense. I know a lot of people don't like him right now or whatever. He does say some controversial things, but, you know, at the end of the day.
You know what still blows my mind was that this game was going to launch originally without proximity chat. I'm so happy they added it, but I cannot believe that was part of the plan, the original plan.
It's a video game, like it's a streamer. I'm not really too mad at him, but like I can see why people are mad. But you know, he was like the perfect person to show off the prox chat. Like he kind of spearheaded it on arc raiders, and yeah, he's showing off Rook like perfectly right here. For me personally, I'm shooting this Rook on sight. Like I'm not even giving him a chance to talk.
This guy is sucking me.
Hey, yo.
Mr. Goopman, there's an enemy in here.
Oh, well, let's kill him.
Did he just call you Goopman?
See, this is perfect right here. Like, this is a good interaction.
All right, there's this goop hat you keep talking about.
In this building, there are 4 boxes. We break 4 boxes, and we can get in the goop.
That's where we were trying to go in the first place.
Here's a goop key. This is a goop key.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you. All right. The sky is assaulting me. 1 second. I will grab the group key. Oh, it's a master one. It's a master one.
So, you know, as fun as this looks, like, I think this is good for, like, the general player, right? Like, someone just looking to have some fun interactions. You know, this game, it shows that you could have fun, but don't get it twisted. Like, it's still going to be really sweaty at high levels. Like,
this is just my opinion here, guys. I think that in the real environment, these like cute interactions are not going to happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, and I think maybe with Peanut it may still happen, but for the majority of people, I just don't think this is going to happen. I think everyone is going to shoot on sight. Someone's going to come around the corner and try to say, hey, don't and before they can even finish their sentence, they're just going to get blasted. I don't think anyone expects this game to be social and fluffy. And that's kind of the environment of the game. Like, that's kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all right. And who knows, too? Maybe Bungie does have some sort of aggression-based matchmaking where it will separate the bloodthirsty people from the more social and friendly PvE people. They could do that.
rank mode comes out, it's going to be really, really competitive. So I think that's the
Rank
only
is gonna
thing
be
Bungie
very-
hasn't
yeah,
shown off
immediately.
yet, like the high level PvP gameplay. We need to see some of that. They haven't really shown it off yet.
I
We
would
saw
love
it
to
in
see
the closed
that.
off a little bit when the tryhard players were playing it, but we got to see some of the PvP competitive gameplay now. This was just more of like a casual type of thing that they're showing off the game a little bit more, showing off some of the new features like Rook, the prox chat, just giving a glimpse of the new map. You know, it wasn't really anything too serious. I don't think the game is for everybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's going to be the best game in the world. I don't think it's going to be bigger than Arc Raiders, but I think it's going to find its target audience. That's all it really needs. I think we got to be realistic. I don't think it's going to break records or sell out, but it's still going to be a successful game.
Let's give it a number, boys. Let's talk. Let's talk. Peak concurrent numbers. What do you think it's going to hit? Everybody just put their guesses out there. 100,000. Oh no, it's going to do more than 100,000, fellas. I think it's going to do way more than 100,000. I'm talking about just on Steam. Just on Steam. 250K peak on Steam. I'm surprised. Many right now are saying 200 to 250K is going to be the max. I think it has a chance of breaking 300K. We'll see. It's not about the peak number. It's about the retention. You would much rather get 150K, but you keep that 150K, or maybe 90% of them, right? That's the most important number. What you don't want to see is a peak of 300-some thousand, and then that shit just bottoms off into no man's land at 20,000 or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, peak means they all bought it, right? But in a live service game, especially if you want healthy lobbies and a thriving environment, recurring players, potentially new players, you want to have a steady player base. Retention is everything, man. Retention is revenue, as Lord mentioned earlier today. 90% retention is a high percentage. I don't know if any game can achieve that. That's the crazy thing. Arc Raiders has achieved that. That's the crazy thing. I know Arc Raiders might be having some dips here and there, but if you remember Arc Raiders, it didn't peak at launch, guys. It kept peaking. That was the crazy thing about Arc Raiders. Every week, it continued to peak. It made new highs all the way up. There's a lot of factors into why Arc Raiders continue to do well. Yes, you had Peanut and other streamers jumping in the game. Guys, we also have to just acknowledge, like, Arc Raiders is kind of a special game. Like, you know what I'm coming from? That's why I was saying, like, if Arc Raiders is Fortnite, you know, if you look at the way things, this is what I actually look at it. Tarkov is like the PUBG of extraction shooters. Arc Raiders is like Fortnite. Now, is Marathon going to be like Apex Legends? You see what I'm saying? All these games were able to coexist with one another. Again, let's also be 100 here. Fortnite was a once in a lifetime generational game. And to be quite honest with you, I don't think any other game will ever come close to what that game has pulled in revenue wise. But what Arc Raiders has done is extremely impressive. Personally, I think Marathon is trying to enter a market that doesn't suit the hero shooter play style. But again, hold on. You know, that's why I'm like making the association for Apex. You know, Apex pulled it off. We'll see. We'll see what plays out with it. It's just so interesting to see the parallels here. We are in an extraction bubble right now. And at one time, we were in a battle royale bubble.
I think anything above 50,000 concurrent players on Steam is pretty healthy. I think that's successful for Bungie. So social media will try to make everything so extreme. If it doesn't do better than Arc Raiders, it's a failure, or like people are going to say anything, or even if it does good, people are going to say it's killing Arc Raiders. Like, it's not going to do that. All right. It should just be fun for people who like to play video games. That's all I'm saying it is. I'm just glad that the game's coming out. I'm glad it saw some improvements because, again, like I said, I saw potential in the game a year ago. I'm excited. February 26th, we're going to play this server slam. So I'm going to read some of the comments from my last video. Cranium. He said, as a graphic designer, this game's visuals have had me on board since it got announced. I love it to death. And yeah, I think anybody who does any form of creative work, whether it be graphic design, motion design, illustrations, like animation, or like even traditional drawing and painting, like everyone can appreciate this game for how it looks. I just don't think, you know, most people who aren't in like some creative field really enjoy it. You know, anybody that's touched Photoshop or like actually try to draw for themselves, they could really appreciate this art style.
I actually think Marathon is a very beautiful game. Environments are fantastic. And I think a great thing that they've done is they are launching it only on the new gen consoles and of course PC. Something we've been asking for inside of Destiny for a long time. Even Destiny being as old as it is, still a beautiful game. Like really, Destiny's a gorgeous game.
Mr. Tardy said they don't know the demons that are about to run through these casuals. Nah, I think so. A game like this, I think it needs some pretty strong skill-based matchmaking to some extent. For the most part, there's going to be a very big difference between the casual players and like all the sweaty players. I'm not even trying to say like I'm the best player or anything. Like I'm definitely, you know, I'm not like some average player, but I'm definitely not like a sweat or like top 5 player in the game or anything like that, but it's gonna be really sweaty. And I think people got to get ready for it, because some of the stuff that I've been seeing, amen, you guys will see. And there's ranked on this game too. It's gonna get sweaty. Great Gonzo said the first person running animation in this game could have been better, in my opinion. Let me see real quick. Oh wait, Peanut getting some action.
I will show you no mercy, demon! Die!
Wait, yo, what? So I don't know what kind of animation you would have wanted, but like this right here, it's like, you know, it's kind of basic. Did you want like a tack sprint type of animation where your gun is stowed on the side or something? I don't know, because you got to think, right? These are runners, but they're like robots, so like they're artificial like beings, if that makes sense. Like you would kind of expect their like running animations to be robotic. Like, I don't know, there wouldn't be too much life to it. So I guess, again, like I said, the game's not for everybody, but it makes sense why it is that way. Like there's not a lot of weight, or like it's supposed to look uniform is what I'm saying. But again, like I feel like that's just the style of the game, you know?
I feel like people are a little nitpicky, right? You know where I'm coming from? You know, somebody's like, I was gonna buy the game and then I saw how people ran.
The Smelly Smell said that's a devious lick at the end. So if you guys didn't watch my last video, I showed a clip of Thief's like loot drone stealing loot from somebody. But to me personally, I think the drone's just going to be so good for getting info, like being able to fly around and see where everybody is. I think that's the best thing about it. Stealing loot is cool, but just being able to fly it. And you saw how long he flew the drone for too, right?
Yep.
So like it's just going to be strong in that sense for PvP at least. But anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. I'm super hyped to play the game on February 26th. We still got 13 days, still a ways away. So if you guys like the video, I'm going to be covering content on it up until then, and then when the game comes out. So make sure you guys drop a like if you guys want more of these videos. Also subscribe if you guys haven't already.
Cruiser, great video, man. Great video. Guys, y'all go show this man some love. This is one of the OGs, dude, from way back in Destiny, man. I mean, we used to watch, I probably watched just about every montage this guy put out. So the classic breaker no clip, you know, Destiny's had some nasty PvP players, really have some nasty PvP players. And right now they're all probably about to start playing Marathon. I personally think some of my Destiny players, my Destiny PvP guys, are going to be eating inside a Marathon. You know, this is a game where they're going to really get pulled in, and I think they're going to do extremely well here. What about Bakken?
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.